It's Carter, man, and won't take long. Won't take long today because what I have to say is pretty short and to the point and pretty emphatic. To put it bluntly, Joe Biden is trying to plunge us into war. He wants to be a wartime president. This man who is in what, when I was a kid, we used to call it his second childhood. Okay, I'm going to close with something that could be another evidence of it, but he's in his second childhood. Okay, now we call it just senility or whatever term they use now. But this is a man who grew up worshiping Franklin Roosevelt and thinks now he wants to be another Franklin Roosevelt, which means he needs a war. And unfortunately, he is surrounded by the worst warmongering State Department in U.S. history. I mean, the Blinken, Nuland, Sullivan cabal is frightening. They, as we've learned in Ukraine, they have no regard for human life. They could care less how many innocent people die, innocent young people die to achieve their goals of regime change wherever they think it needs to take place. 500,000 young Ukrainians, when they knew, they were told by the generals to begin with that they can't win this war. Their response was, that's okay, we can force regime change in Russia. And if it costs 500,000 young people, a generation of Ukrainian young people, their lives, well, that's okay. That's the attitude of this vile cabal, the Blinken, Nuland, Sullivan cabal. And Nuland is the one you have to watch most. Don't forget, direct protege of Hillary Clinton, who, when she helped cause the war in Libya, which was totally unnecessary, cackled and about Gaddafi dying. Said, we came, we saw, he's dead. It's pretty sick, and that's the Nuland mentality. So where do we see that playing out now in Israel? How so? Right now, those three are instructing Biden, who does whatever he's told. Again, he's in his second childhood, to cut off financial, not financial, arms aid to Israel, to restrain Israel in Gaza. To restrain Israel. Now you may say, well, that's a good thing because if they go in, the ground troops, it'll get Iran and the other Arab states upset, and that'll cause World War III. Actually, it's just the opposite. It's just the opposite. Weakness invites aggression. Weakness invites aggression. And you know, think about, you learn when you were a kid about dogs. When the weaker dog rolls over on his back and bares his throat, the other dog makes the attack. Okay? I used to have a Doberman that did that with stuffed animals. It was just frightening. But that's what we have here. That's what we have here. Biden is, while lying to the American people, as usual for toxic Joe Biden, while lying to the American people about what he's doing. We're there for Israel. No, he's not. Great show yesterday with Caroline Glick and Victor Davis Hanson, where they pointed out the weapons that Israel needs most, they're being denied by Joe Biden. Okay, the weapons they need most, plus they're being ordered, don't you dare invade. In fact, they're being ordered to allow humanitarian aid, which goes directly to Hamas. They intercept it all, it goes directly to them. I don't think for 1 minute that really helps those that Hamas has victimized for decades in Gaza. Okay, what you have is a situation. I want you to think for a second. When we began the firebombing of Dresden in World War II, the Nazi stronghold, did we then stop it and send in humanitarian aid to the Nazis? I don't think so. I don't think so. After the invasion of Normandy, did we tell our troops, you just sit on the beach there while we send humanitarian aid to Hitler? I don't think so. You have to finish the job. And what Biden is doing by demanding Israel not quickly invade and take care of business with that vile bunch of sick, depraved, savage terrorists, what he's doing is allowing them to rearm. And he's drawing in the other Arab countries who are under increasing pressure to side with Hamas, and who otherwise, frankly, if they could get it over with, would do nothing and go back to the Abraham Accords. I'm just telling you. That's the way it works. Not Iran, of course. Iran is remember, Iran is not Arabs, and they don't even like Arabs. They use everyone around. The other Arabs know it, and they're not going to side with Iran if they can possibly get out of doing it, unless Joe Biden drags things out to the point where they're left with no choice, which is what he is doing. Okay? It is, in a word, imbecilic. It's imbecilic, and it's dangerous, and it invites World War III. And that way, he gets to be a wartime president. How sick is that? And his troika there, Blinken, Newell, and Sullivan, they're cheering him on, pushing him forward. So that's where we are with this. That's where we are with this. That's why, if there was a call to action today, I'd suggest you call your congressman, your senator, and tell him stop Joe Biden from getting us into World War III with his dilatory tactics in Israel. Let Israel defend itself. Let Israel defend itself. After we dropped the bomb on Hiroshima, we didn't say, okay, we want to have peace now with Japan. No, we didn't send in humanitarian aid. We bombed Nagasaki. Okay? Sometimes you have to take drastic action. It may not be pleasant, but get it over with, and get it over with quickly. Pull off that Band-Aid. That's what it's time to do, and Biden is stopping it. So, number one, if you call your senators, your congressmen, tell them, get Joe Biden under control and let Israel finish the job against these savages in Gaza. Wipe out Hamas. And two, pray hard. Pray hard, because this man is trying to drag us into World War III so he can be a wartime president. And everything about the man suggests he wants to be the FDR, including this grotesque Botox treatments he has on his chin. I'm sure you've seen it, which is funny, except for the fact, what would cause a man to do that? Well, FDR had a protruding chin. Sound absurd? Not so much, folks. Not so much. I'm old. I know other old people, many of whom are in their second childhood. You'd be shocked at the things they do, okay? This man is a danger. We got to put a stop to his warmongering. Let's do this thing.